Hey guys, I'm Combat Craig, and today's topic is things you must do prior to separating from the military. What's up, Alex? You know all about this. Um, if you're new, please type new in the comments. I'd like to meet new people. If you have a question, put a Q in front of the question and ask any question. No question is a stupid question. So, things you must do prior to separating from the military. Um, there's things that you want to do to make your VA claim go smoothly. There's a lot of things that you must do. I'm going to be focusing on the VA claim part of your separation. So the easiest way to prove service connection is by building medical evidence while you're still on active duty right now, right? Filing it and then filing a claim for your disabilities when you get out. So the longer you wait to file a claim, the harder it is. Most of you that are in this channel understand that all too well. So this is for the folks that are still in the military. So the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be able to prove your disability. It's been 20 years. Hey, you've been yeah, that might have happened on active duty, but you've been out for 20 years. It's probably because of your civilian service. So if you have no gaps, right? You get out, you file a claim. There's no gaps in between that. It's everything was caused by your active duty service. So this is a concept that many of us old timers didn't understand, don't understand. And now we're sitting here with all sorts of medical disabilities we didn't even know about, or they just developed, or they got worse, or we drank and drowned out our mental health problems. And now we're trying to get compensated and get treatment, and it's just so much easier if you get this stuff done while you're still on active duty service. So the first step is get your entire body checked out. Don't be a tough guy. Now is not tough guy time. Now is go to the doctor time. Let me get this screen out of the way here. All right, so again, leave your comments. I'll be putting them up and taking breaks. Hit the like button. Let me know how my audio's doing. And I'll go through some of this, take some comments. We'll go feed Clyde some Minties and just kind of bounce around here a little bit. So here's some things that you should be looking for. Mental health issues. If I'm looking back, I had mental health issues. I had an adjustment disorder is what they called it. I was just having problems. I didn't know really what it was. PTSD wasn't like a thing. We were all in a combat zone during Desert Storm. So it's like, you couldn't really complain about stuff like that. So you just kind of dealt with it. So I would say mental health issues, look at that. Go see a psychologist, go see a psychiatrist. If you have depression, anxiety, insomnia, any of those kinds of problems, you'll want to get that checked out while you're on active duty. Sleep apnea is another one. And a lot of these things, I'm doing this list in a certain way. A lot of these things you don't even know you have problems with. You're young, you're in your 20s or 30s or whatever you are. Go get a sleep study while you're on active duty service. Yeah, you suck to sleep next to because you snore. Why do you snore? Are you just a snorer? Or do you have obstructive sleep apnea? No clue until you get a sleep study. So it's going to be a lot easier if you do actually have obstructive sleep apnea. It'll make your life better because you'll have a CPAP machine. You'll be able to breathe, live longer, but it'll be a lot easier to file a claim. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and hearing loss for that matter. We're in the Navy on aircraft carriers around airplanes. We're in the Air Force on the flight lines. Any now loud noise places, get that checked out. Get your complaints in. Go to the audiologist while you're on active duty. GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. This is one where you take a lot of Motrin and stuff like that. you might have GERD, you might have problems. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, diarrhea. Again, lots of medications cause both of these things, IBS and GERD. So you don't know. You just might be like, wow, this sucks to have constipation and diarrhea. You need a diagnosis of IBS. That's what you're going to need because you're going to file a VA claim, and this is your evidence. Migraines, do you have them? Are you complaining about them? Are you telling the doctor how often you have them? Frequency, severity. They're looking for these types of words, and you want this stuff documented. So the moment you become a veteran, um, your claim's launched, and you have all this medical evidence in there, and there's no problem. You're not going to have any problem establishing service connection. You're not going to need a nexus. It all happened on active duty. Like I was just there yesterday, like filed my claim today. I've been building my claim up. Like it's all there, there you go. VA, send me to my C&P exam. Orthopedic conditions, feet, huge part. I mean, what do we use every day? Probably all parts of our body, but our feet get hammered. The boots suck. The way we take care of them, the running, you name it, right? Feet, knees, back. I would definitely focus on getting at least x-rays of those items. And then if you know you have problems, anything that's a sprain or anything like that, get an MRI, get a CT scan, get objective medical evidence that you can use. The VA is going to have a hard time denying you when you have objective medical evidence. Respiratory and breathing problems. Do you have any of those? Go get checked out by a doctor to, check all your breathing, everything dialed in and working properly. Check out your heart. Like these are things that you wouldn't even think about. Get them checked out anyway, because you have no clue. You're just the guy or the girl with the problem that you may or may not know you have. Skin conditions like scars, get those checked out, measured. If you have a fasciculitis Barbie, that's the shaving bumps that you get. That's a skin condition that's rateable. If you have that, make sure you have complaints, objective medical evidence. Take pictures of them. Make sure they're in your treatment records. Medications. Are you on any right now? And do they cause side effects? And have you actually asked yourself this question? One thing you might do is read the bottle. It tells you all the side effects. So this medication you're taking for depression causes GERD or causes IBS or could cause migraines or could cause a skin condition like a rash. Like it'll tell you known side effects. So checking all this stuff out while you're on active duty is going to make your life so much easier. I promise. You're going to want to go and go through your service treatment records and get an understanding about your medical conditions from a doctor's point of view. I know this one's a little weird, but this is something that I've had to do because you know how your symptoms affect you. You live with them, or you know what I mean? Like you either cope with your mental health problems by drinking too much or ignoring them or whatever. You're just not ready to deal with it. Whatever. You need to look at every disability you file from the doctor's perspective because they're looking at, you're going to go to a C&P exam and a doctor's going to look at you. So how is he going to look at you? How are you coming off? Are you consistent in your story about your disability? Do you say you have migraines once a week or is it once a month or you just keep switching it around and it sounds like you're just full of it? Know your story, know what the doctor's looking for, and you need to be able to communicate with him. And the more educated you are and you can speak his special little VA language, you're just going to be ahead of the game. Make a checklist of all the body parts. Get checked out from head to toe. Like we went through a lot of them. Breathing stuff, heart stuff, blood vessel stuff, ligaments, x-rays, MRIs, CT scans, mental health assessments, the whole nine, everything you could possibly go in for go in for. This is considered objective medical evidence. It's an MRI. It's like it's right there. This thing's busted or it's torn or ACL, MCL in my knee. You have it right there, and yeah, it happened when I was on active duty. So that's probably the biggest part. I have a lot of people that have been asking me questions that are still on active duty, and these are the things that you could do to set your claim apart and put yourself in a lot better situation. I have a few friends of mine that have transitioned out in the past year, and they did exactly this. And they walked out and had 100% permanent and total because they had complaints of everything. It's not like they were making stuff up. They just decided to quit being a tough guy and make complaints. Oh, my little border's cutting off my Combat Craig logo there. Whoops. Okay, so let's take a question or two and hit the thumbs up button. Questions are good. Remember, I'm a one-man show here, so I'm trying to watch my dog. I always go over to the Clyde cam real quick, go see it, go check it on Clyde. What you doing, boy? Are you cute? Yeah, he's cute. So one man show. I'll answer questions that I can answer. If I can't read what you're writing and you're abbreviating and misspelling stuff, or you're just asking too much stuff, probably not going to get answered here. But there will be a replay. This is going to get posted to YouTube, and continue to ask questions. That's why I built this community, to help people. What's up, Carlos? The absolute best advice I can give anyone is 6 months prior. Yes, 6 months. That is 180 days. Revisit everything you dealt with immediately upon separating. File your freaking claim. Those are a couple of points that I'm going to be going over, but Alex has it there in a nutshell. Like, that is it. End of story. If you walk away with anything, this is it. 6 months prior, revisit everything you've ever dealt with in your entire military career, whether it is whatever, 6 weeks old or, 20 years, everything. And then do not hesitate, do not procrastinate. Oh yeah, I got a year, it's all good. No, it's not all good. File it immediately, and do not hesitate. Benefits before discharge is another thing that I'm going to talk about. Alex knows about this. Ask away. Absolutely. What's up, Jeff? Full tilt boogie. What's going on? Okay. Not seeing any particular questions, so let's go back through it. So one thing you might start off with is get with an accredited veteran service officer. Speak to somebody that knows how to file VA claims. You're going to need, it's a lot of info. I mean, you're going to need to learn medical lingo and jargon and legal jargon. And this is one of the good reasons to start 6 months before you get out. So you start educating yourself, because if you do this right, you're going to get the exact compensation you deserve, not a penny more or less. And we could be talking serious money depending on how bad you are screwed up. If you're a single veteran, 100% permanent total is $3,100. You might qualify for Social Security disability insurance right when you walk out as well. That might be another $1,500. So you might walk out with $4,500 a month. So it's worth doing this properly. So speak with a VSO. They're usually on your on base or at your local VA regional office. You get with somebody that's accredited, knows something, that can help you put your claim together. And just the more info you can get, the better. YouTube's helping. Read blogs. Read everything you possibly can. Educate yourself. Um, get buddy statements about combat incidents, accidents, other incidents. Now, while you're still in, look up your old friend. Like I have no idea where I would even start. I don't, what is it? Classmates.com for military. I don't even know what that is. I haven't talked to people in my unit. Like I was out of there. I don't talk to anybody from Panama or nobody. Like not one person. I wouldn't even know how to start tracking these guys down. So if you have combat incidents, military sexual trauma incidents, car accident, PTSD related incidents, get that documented now. Get your buddy letters now. Get your contact info from your buddies and be a buddy. If you need to provide a mutual buddy statement, you guys were both in combat and you both got blown up. Hey, I'll write you a buddy letter. You write me a buddy letter. Here's our phone numbers. Here's my mom's mailing address. You can always get me here no matter what I'm doing with my life. Stay in touch so you guys can support each other. You might have to. Whoops. Get copies, get personal copies of everything, all your medical stuff, your psych stuff, personnel stuff, dental stuff, dependent, any kind of imaging, CT scans, anything you can get your hands on. It's a transition, right, between active duty and the VA. And the VA is retarded and they're going to lose stuff, like literally lose stuff. Like, oh, whoops, we just lost 1,000 pages because we're retarded. Like that happens. It's not a joke. Like the stuff gets burned up in a fire and flooded out in St. Louis or whatever. The stories are true. So get a copy, get your hands on as much of that stuff as you possibly can because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Go back over to the Clyde cam. What's up, bud? And give Clyde a little minty here. You want one? Here you go. Wrong screen. Okay. Yes, get those buddy statements. You've got it. Absolutely. All right. Let's see what else we got here. So get all your records as much as you can get your hands on, hard copies. Take pictures, scan it in, whatever. Get it somehow or another. Back it up too. Put it in a safe. You're going to need this stuff potentially down the road. Become familiar with CFR 38, the schedule for rating disabilities. It lists all the rateable conditions along with the appropriate percentage. You should be doing this well before you get out, especially if you have disabilities. You're going to make this transition into a veteran, and you're going to be like that for the rest of your life till you die. So you're going to spend more time as a veteran than you are on active duty. So like it's going to have a huge impact on your life. Take it seriously. Learn the way the VA looks at and rates the disabilities that you have. So as your something might not be bothering you right now, but as it does get worse in the future, you're able to have it service connected and file for an increase, and you know what kind of medical evidence you're going to need to support your request for your increase. You can't just request an increase for the hell of it with no medical evidence. Not going to happen. I mean, I'm sure people have slid through, but not a good route to go. As a retiree, if you get 50% or more, the VA will give you concurrent pay. If it's less than 50%, there's going to get an offset. So if you have done your full 20 or 25 or whatever, I guarantee you have 50% disability problems. Like, go find them. They're in there. Go get everything checked out. As Alex mentioned earlier, file a file a benefits delivery at discharge (BDD). You can file that claim 180 to 90 days out, and if like you learn about it on day 45, you can still do it. Just get that ball rolling as soon as possible. In 6 months is the ideal time because this stuff doesn't move quickly, and the sooner you get your head in this game, the more educated you're going to be and the better you're going to do. A lot of people ask me questions. Hey, I'm on active duty. What do you think about this? What do I think about that? Like the more you do this stuff, I think you're going to do great. If you don't know what you're doing, I have no idea what the outcome is going to be. You can control this, so get a hold of it. Dental's another thing. You don't get free dental automatically when you get out. You can get if you don't finish up all your dental, I understand it. I had a root canal in Panama that sucked and had to get it redone. And so my dental wasn't finished up. You can get it done, but make sure you get it done because dental is a hard one to get finished up through the VA unless you're at the 100% level. If you're going through a medical evaluation board, MEB, or PEB, physical evaluation board, you may be able to qualify for Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, while on active duty. This is something that I've talked to a few people that have gotten med boarded out that, are going for their 20. They're at 17, 18, 19. They were trying to suck it up and all that stuff, but then boom, they got med boarded out. This forces you, when you get med boarded out, this forces you to start looking at all this stuff because, like, wow, they're kicking me out for medical reasons. I should probably, make sure that I have my claim in order. And in that situation, you like pretty much qualify for Social Security Disability Insurance. Check it out. You may qualify whether you're service connected or not. So, be aware of that as well. Start arranging new medical care for yourself now. I know that's easier said than done, but at least start thinking about it. This stuff can take a while to roll on. Write a personal statement for every single one of your conditions and how it affects you on a daily basis. VA disability claims all come down to social and occupational impairment. In one way or another, that is the crossroad. So that's what you're writing about. You're not writing medical jargons. You're talking about, hey, my migraines affect me like this on a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever it is. You don't need to write a book, but you do need to submit a personal statement for each one of your disabilities. And I cannot scroll. Oh yeah, this last one is track all communication with the VA. Track everything you do with the VA, with the military. Let me scroll back over to me here. So this is my list of things that I think you should must do prior to separating from the military. It's a huge deal. Like I said, I think I pretty much nailed it there. I mean, you're going to spend more time as a veteran in the civilian world than you are in active duty. So things happen to you. Make sure you get them properly documented, and you'll be in much better shape than me and pretty much 90% of the people that follow this channel and that are in the comments, because we all made mistakes in one way or another, and we're trying to avoid these mistakes. Scroll up to a couple more questions here. What's up? Get this up here so it's a little more centered. You're new? Welcome. Yeah, what branch of the service were you guys in? I was in USAF, 88 to 91. Couple other things before I go into these comments. Somebody was asking me what kind of combat I did. or something like that. And obviously, he doesn't understand, and you may not understand this either. Um, what kind of combat veteran you are doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the other guy or girl did, or what their service is or whatever. You're just a combat veteran. So whoever asked that question, oh, combat, Craig, what kind of combat veteran you are? I'm the only kind there is. There's only one kind, combat veteran, and it's not like special. It's just we're all just veterans. Another question somebody was asking about. Hey, I can't get this service connected. I can't get that service connected. There's people, getting out of the military that are having problems and they barely even made it through basic training and they get 100%. Yeah, so that happens, and who cares? What somebody else's claim or what some other veteran is doing? You know how much that's going to help your claim? Zero. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what anybody else did. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It has no impact on your claim. How much somebody else gets paid or doesn't get paid won't affect you at all. So I saw those two this morning, and if you guys ask those questions, there's the answer. Let's pop over to the Clyde cam here and feed him another little minty. Minties are these things, by the way. Somebody was asking their little dog bones. I just think it's funny having Clyde in here with me. He's my little buddy. He's a service dog. He's with me everywhere. Might as well be with me on the live stream. Kind of the way I look at it. All right, scrolling down through. For tinnitus, I'm just going to start throwing Alex comments up. For tinnitus, you only have to complain once. That's it. Let me go get more Alex ones. We already covered the benefits before discharge. That's the 6 months before. It's a neat little program. Good way to put it. Timothy, you're finding out now you have 17 months till retirement. And the more you go to the doc, the more I'm finding out that I shouldn't have waited so long. Good point. But you have 17 months left to go. So you're fine. Yes, you're probably dealing with some stuff that you just sucked it up. But 17 months, you've got time. I mean, don't procrastinate. But I mean, we all learn this at some point in our life. We all learn the more you go to the doctor, the more you start looking into your problems, you're like, damn, I could have worked on that 20 years ago instead of, dragging that burden around with me my whole life. Yeah. So Alex was in the same boat. Keep complaining and complain some more. You did 21 and was in the same boat that you were in. And yeah, just because you had an issue on active duty, it's different. It is not an automatic. Nothing is automatic. Active duty is one thing. The VA is a completely separate entity. There's a lot of crossover things, but literally stuff that's in your problem list and on your active duty file, it gets shuffled around. The codes change, just things change, and it's like, oh yeah, we don't do that over here at the VA because we're the VA. So there's it happens. So go get more stuff checked out so you have a workaround for those things. One thing he meant, get it back after a deployment. Absolutely. Check out the MUCB manual in the CFR and complain. Medically unexplained chronic multi-symptom illness, I believe, is what MUCB stands for. This is very popular with Gulf War veterans. Just unexplained things happen to you because you're out in Iraq or wherever you were. Get back from deployment and start complaining. These presumptive conditions are much easier if you have complaints. Yep. You may need a buddy letter, and that's kind of the point that I was trying to make. You may need one, you may not. I can't find anybody's. I'm just like have no contact with anybody I serve with. I was just out of there, you know. So write down the names, get the parents, addresses or whatever. It's difficult to remember, and you may need them in the future. Better to have it instead of being in the boat that a lot of us are in, where we have no clue. I don't even remember who I serve. I don't even remember anything because I have memory loss issues. So that on top of tracking people down's challenging. Ask your physical therapist to conduct range of motion on you for whatever it is. Yep, range of motion tests are good to do. Absolutely. Okay, cool. So you're about to separate from active duty next spring. VA said I can start the claim process within 180 days of separation, and that's the what is it, MBB? I can't remember what it stands for. Yes, and educate yourself now about your disabilities, your symptoms, and I'm kind of going farther and saying, how's the doctor going to look at you and view you? Because that's going to happen. It's called a C&P exam. It's coming. You don't need to go be a doctor unless you want to. Like, you should understand this. Again, it's worth learning about all this stuff and the mumbo jumbo you're diagnosed with and all your problems, because you're going to be dealing with it for the rest of your life, and VA is going to be compensating you for it for the rest of your life. So it's worth learning about. BDD, yes. Get your butt to the doctor while you're still on active duty. Absolutely. I hear a little Brian Reese voice. Get your butt to the doctor. Also, I'll put over that little screen, wherever that is. I don't even know where it is. If you need help with your VA claim, you can sign up with VA Claims Insider. I have a link, combatcraigwins.com. I use VA Claims Insider. I didn't understand the VA claims process. I've been fighting for years and getting nowhere. And they provided me with education, and they provided me with access to the independent medical doctors. Right? It's a medical disability. You need doctors to fight a medical disability. So I got access to the doctors, and once I was done with them, 100%, or they were done with me, whatever. They got me 100% permanent total, and I'm never going to stop saying good things about Brian and his organization, and I consider him a good friend, and yeah, he won't steer you wrong. Cold sores count as a disability? Didn't know that. Makes sense. There's just things like this that you don't think about. Um, Whatever, you have cold sores, you just deal with it. You have to actually go get a diagnosis, get seen for it, and then it appears on a medical record, and then you have something. Yeah, smoking's one that I don't know how popular smoking is now versus back in the day. Drinking is something, depending on how the drinking was done. The VA, the military, they look at it as self destructive behavior and stuff like that. But if you're drinking to cope with your mental health problems because you don't really know you have them or how to deal with stuff, that one is a disorder. It's called episodic alcohol use disorder, and I have a diagnosis for it. Smoking, it's just there, just like there's no, there's nothing to connect smoking to, but they will try to blame it on stuff on smoking for sure. Okay. What recourse do I have if I filed with the VA when I got out, but the VA did nothing with it and says they have no record of my application? I have the copy of the application. Um, I'm not really sure what the recourse is. I just know what you have to do. Unacceptable. Ram it up their ass anyway. Get them to do it. call Congress, call Trump, call the White House hotline, go in and go to your local VA regional office and go find out who's running that clown show. Like, do not accept getting pushed around by these idiots. It's a big, gigantic bureaucracy, and they will choke you with red tape. Unacceptable. Don't let it happen. Um, get that thing filed, and that could be a Q claim potentially. I don't think you could get. I don't think there's a VA rating for herpes, either genital or mouth. I know you said LOL, but I mean it's actually a valid question. I don't know if you can or you can't. That might fall into the yeah, not having protected sex category, but I don't know. It could be rateable. Look it up, CFR. Okay, so you can be service connected for herpes. There you go. So yep, if you were down there messing around with the dirty hookers in Panama in '89, herpes. Okay, so herpes will be service connected at 0%. Good. This is a good conversation. Herpes is so common. So many people have it. So many people get it. I mean, it's just it happens. You get it. OCD. OCD. I don't even know what that stands for, but it's a mental health condition. Get seen for it. Absolutely. Army. Army. Yeah, where is Clyde? Hi, Clyde. How's it going? Good boy. I have my new stream deck here. I'm gonna hook up a behind the scenes camera, but now these things are scenes. Clyde, me, the screen sharing thing. You know, this countdown timer, the disclaimer, the me, the me in text. So I have a little. I can just push buttons on it now instead of having to use my mouse. So I'm pretty stoked. It's called a stream deck. And ask me any YouTube questions too. Everybody, if you want to fire up a YouTube channel and talk about this stuff and help veterans, it's extremely therapeutic, challenging. You get to play around with the YouTube algorithm, build a following, and all that kind of stuff. I support all that stuff. I've seen a few people talking about that. Hit me up. Um, yeah, yeah, he's not. I feed him too many Menties. It's not animal abuse. So you're asking about neck pain, and it there's the 7 out of 10, but with that, it also depends on range of motion. I know something about neck pain because I've had neck surgery. Here's my scar right there. Had my C3-4, C4-5 fused, and the surgery failed. So it really depends on range of motion and then again the range of motion and the pain on movement. It all circles back to how it affects your social and your work life. Everything comes back to that. Chronic condition as well. Yeah. Acute is typically 6 months, might be three, but I think it's 6 months for orthopedic conditions. I've had neck pain issues since 2013, so I fall in the chronic category. And my neck's not service connected; it was from a different deal. But chronic versus acute is a good thing to learn about. I'm being med boarded and currently going through IDES, and I didn't talk about that, and I should have. And I don't know, but I am going to let Alex answer that for you. And he probably already did. So when I see it, I'm going to pop it up because I know you're not the first one to ask it. Yeah, IDES is the new system. That sounds right. Trying to get this 40% for PTSD. Any suggestions? You have emotional outbursts and don't sleep. Um, you must have something else because PTSD is a mental health rating, and you can either get 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, or 100. So 40 is not 40 is not one of the options for you. 30 or 50, maybe you have tinnitus too or something. So you have emotional outbursts. You know this. Does a doctor? That would be a good place to start. Does your doctor, does your psychiatrist know you have sleep problems? Does you know you drink and take stuff, whatever stuff is? Get to a board certified psychologist and get this stuff documented. And then you need current symptoms. Then you need severity of symptoms. That's where that rating comes from. And then you're going to need the nexus. So if you're already service connected for PTSD, you're filing an increase. So you need to just keep going to the doctor and report how your symptoms are getting worse. Yeah, Alex has them right there. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for subscribing. How many people we got on? 31 people. Saturday midday crowd. Awesome. 24 likes. What's up, Outdoor Andy? No, it's like Alex said, 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, 100. PTSD is just like all mental health ratings. They're all like that. So 60 is probably you have one rating for mental health, lower than 60, obviously, probably 50, and then you might have tinnitus or something else lobbed in with it. So it gets confusing with the breakdown. But the overall combined disability rating is what it comes down to. Yep, this is a tough one, and it's tough to hear. And this may be the first time you're hearing about it, and you're on active duty, and you've only been in for 6 months, and you're already jacked up. Go to the doctor right now and start complaining. And don't worry about being a tough guy, because you're probably going to not make it if you already have major back issues and you're 22, 21 years old. You're not going to make it for 20. Who cares what anybody else thinks? And you're going to be dealing with this for the rest of your life. So get your butt to the doctor now, get it documented properly. So when you do get out, you're going to get compensated. And this, like, no joke, this is going to like happen until you're dead, 80 years old, right? Way after you're out of the military. That's going to be a distant thought. Yeah, VA disability calculator. You could Google it. I don't have one specifically in mind. Hill and Ponton has a good one. I don't know if VA Claims Insider put theirs back up. But those will give you a good idea of where you're at. Figure out how to add up your disabilities and see what you need. I don't know what if you think you should be at 90 and you're at 50, you could start playing around with, well, what would I do if I added in an IBS claim? Because I have that. Or what would happen if I filed a sleep apnea claim? Because I also have that. There's strategy going on. And I'm talking about veterans more than getting out of the military. The strategy while you're still on active duty is launch everything at them and let them sort it out and have medical evidence to back it up. Once you've been out for a while, now you need to start weighing your options. All right, I'm at 40. Am I going to be able to protect my 40 and not get reduced? Have you been going to the doctor? If no, start going to the doctor. Hold off on filing that claim probably would be a good first step. And then it's like, all right, what else do you have? How does the VA rate them? Look at pyramiding issues and figure out the path of least resistance. You don't want to keep in here just poking at these guys. The VHA, Veterans Health Administration, you're going to deal with them for the rest of your life. For the Veterans Benefits Administration, you want to get as little contact as possible. Get in, get your rating, get out. Get to where you need to go and maintain your rating. And no love letters from the VBA is good news. Yeah, it will. What can I do for PTSD for drinking and taking pills to sleep? No clue, because that's exactly what I do. I drink and I take pills. I take trazodone. I've been taking that since 2008. I take Xanax, same thing, 2008. I'd be way out of control. without those things. And yeah, I drink booze. Sometimes I drink more than others, but I'm not like a AA guy. Um, I've definitely been a full blown alcoholic. It's under control, but I don't really have any, my moral compass is gone. My ex wife is ex wife now, so it's just me and Clyde. So I'm kind of left to my own devices here, and I got some, but overall, this is the main thing I'm focused on. This is what makes me happy. So I'm not tripping, and I don't drink hard booze anymore. I drink those little mango White Claws, and I don't even drink beer. Word on the street is you can get disability for shin splints. Absolutely. Kind of weird the way they do them. I have a friend that actually filed a claim for shin splints. And since it's your shins, they're definitely in your medical records. I have shin splints in there quite a bit. But they said they were checking out his knee and his feet. Like that's the CNP exam he went to. And he's like, "Hey, dum dum, the shin's in the middle of those two things. You're not going to find a problem in my foot or my knee." Just it's another one of those weird things. If you have shin splints, find out how severe they are, find out what the different ratings are, and it's also good to know how are they going to find out if you still have them and how bad they are. In this example, they're checking this guy's knees, a friend of mine. And this would go to this part about shin splints is actually a good conversation. I haven't gone down this rabbit hole before. Um, yeah, you never run unless it's right before a PT test. Um, this speaks to more the social impairment, unless your job is running. But used to run, made you happy. I That's not the case for me. I was in the Air Force. We didn't run. I could barely make it a mile and a half in like 14 and a half minutes. It was a joke. Combat Craig, we're going to kick your ass out. Like the slowest PT test in the entire military probably is the Air Force. But anyway, I think the shin splints part is there's social impairment there. But if anybody knows how to actually do the shin splints thing and make them stick, I actually don't have that info off the top of my head. No, they don't. And you know who cares even less? VA doctors. They're even better. You're going to love them. Can anyone in the chat list what VA claims they're going for? You just want to see. Oh, that's good. That's a good example. I'll just start with mine. I have a rating for both feet. I have pes planus, which is flat feet. I have plantar fasciitis in both feet, and metatarsalgia is like broken bones. I busted my left foot. Um, I have mental health ratings. I have PTSD, combat, major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, episodic alcohol use disorder, somatic symptom disorder. They're trying to stick me with bipolar, but I'm not buying it. What else do I have? Tinnitus. Yeah, go in. There's Facebook groups. Join some Facebook groups and see what other people are doing. A lot of these, just Facebook's a good place for me. YouTube's, good too. There's a lot of forums and stuff out there, and you can see what other people are doing. Hey, I filed a claim, or they denied me for this, but they gave me that, and this was deferred. You start learning this whole process. But if you're still in the military, you can avoid all that stuff and walk out with 100% permanent total. That's what this video is about. What's up from Savannah, Georgia? How's the weather down there? You have feet problems, just had to see if the outside doctor, how do you get a better reading? So you have feet problems. Are they service connected already or not? That's the first step. So let's just say they are, and you're going for an increase. You're going to need a medical doctor to support the increase. The plantar fasciitis is worse now. The Flat feet, the arches are collapsing more now. One of the markers for foot claims is insoles. So if you haven't even bothered to get insoles, you're not going to get an increase. That's just one of the things the VA does. Got to go to a podiatrist, got to go get molds, casts, whatever they're called, and you get custom insoles. Do they help? No. Okay, now you can cross over to the next level. Now we're at 10%. Are you mild, moderate, severe? I didn't know how to articulate what was going on my feet. I'm actually moderate severe, but I didn't know how to talk about it, so they just left me at 10% for years and years and years. QTC had you do a sleep study, huh? All right. Just wanted to. Okay, we'll keep it rolling for a few minutes. Little 5-minute warning here. Let's take a quick little break. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you have to turn the notification bell on to get notified when I post a new video. Leave comments, leave likes. Our community is thriving. It's rocking and rolling, and it's all because of you guys. And I'm going to throw it on the Clyde cam real quick here and take a quick break. I can't get this comment off. All right, let's see. And again, I want to talk about um, help with your VA claim. This is important. This one comes up a lot, and you can't talk about it too much. And we were just kind of talking about it a little bit. How do I deal with my feet? Learn. Nobody cares about your feet. I don't care about your feet. Your feet and how much you get compensated for how damaged they are, it doesn't affect me, right? I mean, I care. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but that's just the way it is. It's just something that you have to deal with. So you have to care the most, more than anybody else. Then once you do that and you learn as much as you can, then what kind of help you're going to need? You're going to need a doctor. Do you want to just rely on a VA doctor who sits there and scribbles notes? They're completely unaccountable. They can put lies in there. They're inaccurate. They don't care. Or do you want to get a private doctor to spell it out? Here's the diagnosis. Here's the nexus. This current diagnosis is linked to active duty service on at least as likely as not basis, and the severity of the symptoms are severe. You need a doctor to specifically call these things out. So if you can't get to a doctor, it costs money too. Yep, definitely costs money. It's not going to be covered by insurance. So that's another thing to know. And there's organizations out there that help veterans. Make sure you're getting one that actually helps, not says they help. So again, I use VA Claims Insider. Helped me a lot. My battle is over with. And now I'll segue into your question. They can reduce you. Absolutely. So here's the way they look at it. You get out, let's say you get out and you get a good rating. You do pretty good out of the gate, and you get 100%, but you don't get permanent and total. So you're like, sweet, 100%, and you just bounce $3,100 a month. Done with these clowns, and you just stop going. They will review you from time to time. It's different periods of time: 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. There's different protections that are in place after you hit the 5, 10, 20-year mark, and then permanent and total is different. But if you stop going, that is the number one reason why veterans get reduced. They stop going, and the VA looks at stop going as, oh, Well, veteran stopped going. His problem must have gotten better because he stopped coming. He's not complaining about it anymore. But they need to show that it's sustained improvement, so they'll give you another year to not show up. So you don't show up for 2 3 years, you're fighting an uphill battle, but you'll get a reduction notice. They will do a records review first, and this is what they're looking for. All right, well, he says he's got 100% for PTSD. We have no private records uploaded to his My Healthy Vet. He hasn't seen any of our doctors in 3 years. He must be better. That's just the way they look at it. So you can fight a reduction notice. You'll get a reduction letter or notice or whatever it is. You have 60 days to respond, and you're going to scramble and panic, and it's going to cost money and whatever. You need to protect that 100%. So now you really got to go get your butt to a board certified psychologist to re-diagnose you, reaffirm your diagnosis. Your symptoms are the same, all that kind of stuff. But they will absolutely reduce you if they can. And I don't want to like put info out there like that's what they do. They're just looking to reduce veterans. I'm sure that's happened. I don't think that's the way it goes down. I think we just get sloppy and we just stop going. And it's like, I mean, hey, he didn't show up for 5 years. Like, obviously, he's better. Like, if you make it too easy for them to reduce you, they will. Yeah, they can, and then they can reduce it if it gets better too. Obviously, so that's the other side of the coin. Like you got better, like you don't now you can go get that 150 grand a year job. You're better. You're not disabled as much as you were. That's a good thing. Um, doesn't happen a lot. Definitely, the older you get, it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. I hope that happens for you. I hope you get better. If you're having mental health issues, I hope you get better, get happier. The reality is you just get some treatment, some professional treatment, see a shrink, maybe you take some meds, you see a psychiatrist, and you just learn how to manage it and live with it. And your family learns how to live with you, understand your mental health problems, your kids, your wife, whatever. Everybody understands why you're so hyper vigilant and your head's on a swivel, and you think everybody's got a weapon, and they understand. Hey, you're a combat veteran, and it's just the way you look at things. You're not crazy. It's just you had to do that at one point in your life, and you're not able to shake that. So you deal with it the best you can. For me, I just stay away from everybody. I go wherever I need to go early in the morning or late at night. I don't go into crowded spots. And I know I expend an enormous amount of energy. When I leave my house, this is where my multiple defensive fighting positions are. The moment I walk out of here, I mean, I still have my gun in my truck. It's not like I'm out there like, unarmed, but, I'm out of my castle. So now I'm in my truck, and now I'm dealing with drivers, and now I'm dealing with road rage, and now I'm at the gas station. Right? How the hell am I going to get out of here if something goes down? Where are my exits? What can I four-wheel drive over? I have a truck for on purpose. I mean, I live in Idaho in the snow, but if I need to, four by it through a ditch, that's as I'm going in to go get a pack of smokes or gum. Then I enter the liquor store, the gas station. Boom, threat assessment. How many people are here? Where are there people hiding that I can't see them? Are they in the aisles? Are they short people? Are they kids? There's a baby over there. What's that? What is there a bomb underneath that baby's diaper or something like that? Like, I expend an enormous amount of energy, and it's exhausting making threat assessments, and that's just something that we do. So I don't want to get more social. I just want to pick times where there's less people. So I'm kind of digging this whole, climate of things, mask and distancing. Perfect. I'm all about social distancing. I'm right at home. You have sleep apnea, you have your machine. How do you upload the documentation? File a claim on va.gov, and you can upload it through there. I would definitely step back, and I don't I'm kind of hopping in the middle of this comment, but this is just whatever. It's relevant for anybody watching. If you're launching a sleep apnea claim, you may think it's good because you know it's so hard to get diagnosis and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, wow, this is rock solid. Diagnosis, objective medical evidence doesn't beat a CPAP. Both things are true. The nexus is the most important thing in a sleep apnea claim. If you don't have a way to link it to your active duty service, you're going to just upload a loser all day long. So make sure you get a doctor that can make the medical link between your sleep apnea and your fill in the blank. There's a lot of them. My understanding is no, but I don't trust the VA. So I treat my 100% P&T like I'm, you know, going to get reduced. It's just the way I am. I have trust issues. But my understanding of the reality is it's permanent and total. My age was a factor. The severity of my symptoms are the factor, and everything is considered static, and they determined no future exams are needed. So I don't think they actually review it, but if you are permanent and total and you start thinking, oh, I want to file a sleep apnea claim for absolutely no reason other than to go through the motions. Once you file for an increase or file a new claim and you're 100% permanent and total, you are welcoming them into your claim, and they will open up the whole entire thing. And if you're slipping, they will knock you out of 100% P&T land. Yes, exactly. Don't give them reason to. That's the main thing. So I'm paranoid, but I shouldn't be. Maybe I'll be less paranoid about this in a couple of years. I've only had 100% P&T for a year, but I definitely know no increases, no special monthly compensation. I'm just happy with my 3106, soon to be 3146. Um, you're not at 100%, Frank, right? I think you're in your 90s. So all your conditions are considered static, but you have to be at 100% to get 100% PNT. There is no 90% PNT. Your conditions can be either considered permanent, or they can be considered total, or they can be combined, permanent and total, but that only happens at the 100% level. And there's two versions of the 100% level that I'm aware of. Scheduler, where mathematically you add up to 100, or TDIU, total disability based on individual unemployability, where you're at 70 and you can't move up and you can't work and you get a 100%, you get paid at the 100% level. You could be P&T that way as well. Not sure. Find a doc, any doc, primary doc, private doctor, doctor on the street. Go find one with a MD after his name. Um, and again, these I hate to harp on this too much, but a lot of this stuff is going to cost you some money. Just trust me. It'll be the best investment you ever make in your life, because this isn't like, it's tax-free money going from 1,200 bucks to 3,100. I mean, that was a big jump. It changed my life. I live off of it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Been a good hour. Thanks for all the interactions. I hope you have a good Saturday, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be soon, I'm sure.